Wow. Silence is my favorite sound. Watch me make them bow one by one. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're here taking a look at Sung Han-bin and Youngji, their KCON collaboration to You Should See Me in a Crown. And what's really fun about this is at this point in time I have completely finished my Zero Base One marathon over on the Patreon side, and I'm very excited and waiting for their comeback for their album. I'm just really excited about it. And so being able to see this, knowing what I know from Boys Planet, watching the whole season, and then also seeing the discography and seeing Sung Han-bin's growth. Of course, I've seen the Artist of the Month, so I'm very familiar with his tutting familiarity. And then with Youngji, I know that she's done tutting within her own discography, so I'm very intrigued on what this is going to be. We have the dance practice pulled up. We both know if I try to go for the KCON exclusive footage, it's going to get blocked. So in order to be safe, for it to be on all the spaces and we can appreciate the choreography, we're going to go off of Youngji's channel. Fingers crossed it checks out. I'm ready. I hope you guys are. Let's go.
Bite my tongue, wearing a warning sign. Wait till the world is mine.
Ew, that was cool. It was cool. He had really good tension. Hey. Oh, this is sick.
You should see me in a crowd. I'm gonna win, there's nothing to help. Watch me make them bow one by one. You should see me in a crowd.
Oh.
Watch me make them bow one by one.
Wow, she has a really good angle. This one. Wow. Ooh. I wasn't expecting all that. I wasn't. I mean, I wasn't expecting Artist of the Month complexity. I was from Sung Han-bin, not from Youngji. Snaps to that. Wow, okay. Are we going to do 0.75 or 0.5? We're going to try 0.75, but guys, some of these choices are mad fast. Okay. Shout out to the dancers for this. I don't know the overlap between the Artist of the Month and this one, but this was wild behavior. I really like this. And shout out to the videographer for getting us really high quality dance practice for us to appreciate. Because sometimes, even if it was successful on the KCON video side, sometimes performances don't get their shine from how they're shot. I know mamas are a great example of that. So we're gonna go right here from the top. Sung Han-bin freaking killing it here. And side note, I have seen his Artist of the Month. Is why you've noticed me reference it. That was my first exposure to Sung Han-bin's movement quality, which is really fun to see this here. It's literally the bookends of the journey. That's freaking dope, guys. Okay. This angle is fascinating because we're not starting at a 90. Like, we have a 90 represented, and you can't even see my little line, right? So he has a 90 here, but this angle is not a 90. It's just fascinating because it checks out. It works because of his familiarity in the ability to hit those angles well. And then you have this crawl, angsty stylized hand over from everybody else there. He's focused. He's looking here. and then he looks up with just his eyes. It's a really nice, subtle way for us as an audience to be clocking what is about to go down on that forearm. Here we go. So it goes, bite my tongue. So how Billy sounds in this particular track has an intimacy with a grunginess with a little bit of a, I wouldn't stay here for too long, because there's something that's about to rupture. You know what I mean? Cognitive dissonance and Billie Eilish go hand in hand. Just depends on the day and it depends on the track and the album, honestly. So he had a really cool reverb choice before he entered into that. And then I really like how we're able to appreciate it from the camera angle that we have here. He's looking at this fold of the hand as he switches it, and then he unravels. And then he takes it, it's crossed over, guys. I think that's Youngji coming in from the back, sends it over. And the beauty of this is not just the positions that he's in, but his contact, where he's looking, because that really helps aid us as a viewer, right? So I like the folds and the usage of that. They're very clear, they're readable. This was sick. I love this. He twists it, and then he ravels in this little finger wave. He likes doing these. It's something that is a thing of his. He likes the switches and these fixed points as well with the wrist. And we see that here pretty soon, that the vibrato. He vibratoed that. That's gross. We love it. This, he likes those. With the wrist rotations, he looks up at it. Then that, oh my God, even down to like the freaking thumb. That's sick. In the fact it's so readable too. Because a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, he's been tutting for a long time. Yes, but you also have to keep in mind, he gets to put little nuances of tutting within the Zero Base One discography, but he hasn't been able to actively be a part of it the way that he was before he debuted as an idol, right? So there could be some things that aren't as refined as what they were back in the time that he was in Spellless Crew. So that's why it's still something we could still give him his flowers for the fact that it's still impressive. And even though that could be something expected because he's known for his tutting and arm control qualities, I have no idea how much time he's able to really give to it because of his other obligations and his other parts of his schedule he didn't have at that time when he refined all of this. So also like the dancers really holding it to where it's there's such a reliability in the overall framework of it. It would be really clunky if only Song Han-min could do it. But the fact that everybody's able to hold it down in intensity and meet him in this, it makes it way more enjoyable, honestly. He opens it up in a little port de bras moment, and they take it, and like that we expand it. He takes his hands, come on, he's showing a really nice shoulder flexibility here too with these stylized claws. It feels like a continuation of the Artist of the Month. Then you got Youngji. Shout out to her for her freaking 90-degree angles, right? She's holding her own so well. I don't know her experience in this realm. I only know that she had like what's in their track that she had? It's like it involves a cat. I don't know. But she's done arm control before. I haven't seen her do stuff like this, right? And so I don't know her history in it, but I'm impressed just across the board. The switch on that, and I really like how she's performing in it. The basses are being resonated with our dancers, with the stylized hands. She's rotating it around, having it nice and flat. This pulse to the back really helps carry the weight and responsibility of what's going on in the track while still having a feature in play. God, this angle's so pretty. Rotating it through the breast, she reverses it to the chest, it goes, then she's pulsing it with a travel up with everybody else to join her. Then she has it up to the head. Having nails really can create a nice choice in how it frames or how it comes across in style. I know I like pursuing angles, or I like showing my hands more in these types of ways when I have nails on. I don't right now, but you see like how it just can enhance, but also I've cut myself. The longer the nail, the more of a problem. I've had dancers who have cut themselves, like cut their eyebrow whenever they would do whacking and they had long nails. So beware. She brings it in. I let that hit and it goes, she opens it. Very gimmicky, right? And I like that we don't have makeup or anything that really is needed because you're really going off of how your face is wanting to showcase. It's cool. And then we twinkle it up. I like that we're actually touching our face. Sometimes people hover it. I really like that we're committing to the bit all the way through. She brings it through. The eye contact's being maintained. We love to see that. Nice. So she takes it all the way around. She's going into a figure 8 with her hands. That's really nice. I've seen figure 8s from, oh my gosh, Gravity Jacobs. He's a great reference if you wanted to. He's been hybriding with the K-pop side. Good reference if you want to understand how to do a figure 8 or understanding the differences in key elements of Vogue. So you have this moment with Song Hanbin. He pops up again. They do a little crawl. That's a basket walk. But because we're so in raptures of the complexity, and this is at 0.75, so it's really hard to see that if you don't have it slowed down. We pick our battles, the camera's focused on Song Hanbin. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be looking at what he's about to freaking do with his hands. It's awesome. So we end up rotating it through, then we get it sent, getting prepared for this angle here, then we end up traveling it down. That is being represented with a non-stop. If you're off, you're off. Now range could slightly improve with the connection, specifically if we're choosing to go off with the wrist or the forearm. So that's a little bit tricky, but the gist of the timing is in check and we pick our battles, and this is a dance practice, right? Even though it's high quality, it's still, you know, could he have done this in a different take, in a better way? There's always that chance. We're human. But I like that we have the framing still continuing on the outside to create a fun V. So they end up taking it through. It's still very readable, right? And that's what your goal is regardless of speed, there's readability and clarity, but there's still captivation of it. We can still appreciate the speed of it, right? So we have the angle, boom, sent off. A lot of these little complementary wrists with the elbow integrations are nice. Then he folds it in, and then we have a lot of these, not a thread, it's like very ribbony, like we're tying something around the forearm. You see that, which is cool. Then we have it through, and then we're just going. We're not stopping whatsoever here, and we fold it in, and we go and we reset with our wrists, rotate, boom, snap it. Then we take it out in. This is not a clean angle. This is not a 90-90 where it's like 180s are in play. We're dealing with a freaking 45, which is way harder to get clean on the same page. You notice with my back dancers, they don't have the elbow connected to the wrist, but he does. I really appreciate that clarity, but also I can respect both because the gist of the angle is in check, right? Then we end up folding. Boom. This is filthy with the crawl of the fingers. Ew. I love that. And then we have a little sway on the one by, and we have it. Is he freaking... He's got this, isn't he? He has this bent. I don't think everybody's doing that, but he's like, let me just pop this little angle here because I can. And then we toss it over, one. Then we hit it with a double base with the elbows. We send it in. Oops, sorry, I just nailed my freaking mic. And the rotations, like all of this. Clarity of angles really, really matters for a one-take style, which is nice. We send it in. Now, I know this is not a one-take, but getting that entire sequence without cutting it, snaps to that. Let's go. And we send it over. She said, Youngji, okay, bet. Hold my pearls. Let's go. She rotates it through, and I like that she has a little stylized hand moment. She ends up brushing it. So she's, oh gosh, incorporating a lot of these rotating elements, which helps. It ties in. She hits it, ding, ding. We saw that from Artist of the Month, didn't we? Then it goes, is my favorite, with these wrist rotations, and it has that sound, and I like that she sent her body up and around, causes this effect from the dancers to create a diagonal. She hits it. I really like this stylized hand coming across in throughout our choices. It's intentional with the blade. It causes separation between the blade and having a go-to that creates this creepy crawly effect, right? The head is nice, and I like that she is matching that as well. The hip, boom, boom, looking to the front. And it's one by, and I like the little branch away out of it. We hit it through, and then there's a knock that's in play going on with the wrist, tossing it down to where that tricep is. We hit it, boom, boom. And then you have that one. Ooh, send it front to back, sister. And then she just says, let me just brush my hair because I just slaughtered that. I also love this little tattoo moment. It's a gun with a bullet. That's cool. And then they look to each other. Let's go. And then they have a little moment. It's more chaotic. We have like a more of a legato. We're not going waving on this. We're not going to call it waving. There's not enough clarity for that. But dynamically, we're going legato. So smooth, but there's still a chaoticness because of individuality. But we got a lot of people hinging back. They're the only ones kind of not entertaining that. But I like the stickiness of the finish on that. Then the opposition, doom, 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 we're creating some stalls, some interruptions, some glitch effects. Then I really like that he has this interruption here to give the impression that he's controlling Youngji on the head to the, are we going chest? Da, 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 da. Let's see what she was doing. Head to shoulders. Then we take it up and we boom. Come on with the angle. Clarity, notice. We have, it makes sense. There's always a reason for it. I am honestly more so impressed at the lack of 90s in this. There's a lot of the land of the in-between on the angles. Those are so much harder to get clean. This angle is hard to get clean. So the fact that we have that kind of curvature going on the sides is something that I'm really happy to see. This doesn't feel like we're stagnant and we've just plateaued on this is all I can show, because you run a high risk of that if you're showcasing a presentation of yourself in that way. It looks like with both of them, we're showcasing a hybrid where we can square up with one another and collaborate and make this something that furthers and pushes the envelope on competency of the craft that we're asked to do, right? It's nice. And I think that was kind of my takeaway that I said with Sung Han Ben when he was doing Spella's choreo. He's one of the only idols I have noticed and seen. I haven't seen many do it, so I can't really attest too much. But watching a Spella choreography done in that kind of space, not many people can do well, can do it to the extent of having a genuine exploration in the choices, right? So I really commend what we're seeing here, because it doesn't give this impression that we're creating or falsifying our ability. This isn't something you can just do in a day. It takes time, right? So I know more about Sung Han Bin than I do know about Youngji in this context, but I'm excited to learn more if you know more. The angles out are nice, and I like the opposition of framing from the dancers to them. And I like that they have the arms up and everybody else, boom, sends the heads up. It looks like they're controlling them there. They toss the arms down. Youngji said, let me pop off real quick. They take the chest, boom, and very grungy there. Everyone's creating their own, patterns. I really like this one. We end up seeing that in the Irene and Solgi track, Naughty. So we're seeing some framing like that. She's folding her arms down, opening it up, twinkling it up. Then we cross it. We get sent up, helps with Sung Han Ben to stand up. Then we have this little complimentary, we're grabbing that shoulder moment. He's looking at her, she's looking at him. Then he tosses it over, come on, with a little snake. What you want? Square up. It gives that vibe, right? Twinkle the fingers in. I like the intention of the flat blade from everybody else, so it helps with the contrast of the hands. They grab in, they look at us because they said, oh, you're still watching? Haha. The grab with the opposition is nice. And then they take it, boom. I really like the bend, and the distance is very balanced in the frame and the shot there. It's cool. Then we have a little speed change there. She does a little knock on the back. The look making eye contact, we switch it. Once again, the 90s are there, but the angle that we're representing as a whole is not a 90s, it's a 45. It's so cool. Oh, with the fold-ins are really nice. Thank you for that. One bite, and you have your dancers moving in a clone-like ritual-based manner in the back, and then you have them just walking forward like we're in full control, right? Look at each other, and they rotate it through, boom, boom, hitting it, and then they have a nice stylized hand. Have an opposition, going with the folds, 2 different planes on that. We switch it up. Now here we go. I feel like this needs to be 0.5. This is really cool. This whole section right here, goodness. They didn't need to do more than 1:40. Like, this was so captivating for what it was. And it really saturated, and this was awesome. So they hit it. Oh God. Okay, so we fold. Boom, speed on this. Yeah, they hit it. Boom, da 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 da. And we have, it looks like a pas de bourrée with a crossover going on in the lower body here. This is polyrhythmic. Set it out, and then we end up sending it, rotating it to the outside, folding it down. Another wrist rotation, hit with the switch. That is very, very polyrhythmic. That probably took 3 to 5 business days. It would take me 3 to 5 business days to get just that sequence, because I am not as familiar with tutting polyrhythm sequences like I am with waving polyrhythm sequences. Everybody has a niche of style that they choose to lean into. For me, it's not tutting. I can appreciate it. I really like doing it, and I like exploring it. When it comes to my time and how I delegate it, I'm going to cater it more to waving, to house, to popping than I am to tutting. But tutting can be an element that can help frame and shape different popping options and waving options. So I entertain it to a certain extent, but not in this way. So I'm going to run into more trouble, even though I'm a professional in the field of dance. I'm going to run into way more trouble here than I am on a waving sequence that's highly complex. Right? And there's a chance that the same can be said about them in this case, right? And so it makes me intrigued. If they have it behind the scenes, I'll probably tune in and watch it. I'll probably go on Patreon for that. I'm just out of freaking curiosity to see how it would go. This is really cool. So gosh, hold on. Let's go back. Bring it back. They switch it up with the direction of the torso. They have the hands folded up. They hit it in. One of them stays, one of them folds in. We have to be very mindful, too, that we can't let other things get influenced off of these folds that we're seeing, right? So that's really cool. They hit it. They pull it. I really like the extra pull on that before they send themselves into it. That's, notice how it just saturated and filled up in a hinge-like way audibly. So seeing the movement cater to that, really dope. Then we end up rotating it. A lot of these. We're here for it. A lot of knocks. Probably more knocks than I'm going to give, like, shifts. Anyway, so, like, they hit it up, and then they end up rotating it down, hitting those little claps, and then it goes like we're opening a mouth. Then we take our hands, we rotate. See, Youngji's got that in the freaking bag. We hit it, and then I like the lean back with a little forced arch foot. And then we take it, redo it again to reset, and then we open it out, make it come to the front, and then we hit it, boom, and we swing the arm to get it folded, and then we toss it. Not really toss it away, but we just let go of it because we choose to. We have our moment. We fold those arms to the front, and then we have an ending. I was kind of hoping for a little ragdoll arch moment, and we got one. Everybody's dropped down. Hanbin's up. Youngji's out. This is really cool. They did so well with this, and also, tutting is so fatiguing if you're not conditioned to do it. Personal experience, I've touched on this in the Artist of the Month. Whenever we look at a heavy tutting based choreography, that stuff can be so fatiguing on your body if you're not conditioned to handle it. I would say, so who knows how many tries they were doing until they got it, because the more fatigued you get, same thing with house, same thing with crump, same thing with popping and waving and whatever style you want to throw on it, ballet. If you're not used to this kind of momentum in these rotations, you can potentially run into your blood. You can feel little tinglies going on in your body, because I've experienced that whenever you're going so fast and you're cutting it and you're rotating it and you're having to do that over and over and over again, your body's going to want to give out. So shout out to everybody involved on this for the fact we even got a dance practice for us to enjoy. If a behind the scenes comes out, I'll be sitting there watching it. This is, I would consider it technically my marathon finale for Zero Base 1. I'm going to kind of call slam dunk that. But if you're like, Jess, oh my God, you've seen Zero Base 1 stuff? Yes, I have. It is all over Patreon for you to enjoy. And as they come out with new stuff, their older stuff will get released. Youngji I've seen a few times, more so on the collaborative side, not on the heavy dance side. So this was really cool to see her in this way. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.